Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's Sales Excellence webcast, Windows 10 Anniversary Update and Partner Opportunities. Today's webcast is being recorded on behalf of the Microsoft Corporation. If you do not consent to be a part of the recorded session, please disconnect now. Attendees may access the web conference recording via a link 72 hours post-conference. To learn more about the ways that you can participate in today's event, please click the Messages button in the lower left corner of your screen. We encourage you to use the Messages panel at any time to ask questions regarding content or to request support. To do so, please click the Messages button at the bottom of your screen, type your question into the white box, and click Send. Your question will appear under Comment Pending until someone responds. Your feedback is important to us. At the end of the session, a survey URL will appear on the left side of your screen. Simply click the survey URL, enter your email address, and select the appropriate responses. Thank you for your support. If you experience technical difficulties during today's webcast, please press F5 to refresh your console or download the video troubleshooting PDF by clicking the Downloads button on the bottom left of your console. If you're still having issues, please send a message and I'll be happy to help you resolve the issue. Thank you for your patience during these announcements. Thank you for joining us for today's webcast, Windows 10 Anniversary Update and Partner Opportunities. Please be sure to visit aka.ms/Sales Excellence to view all of the upcoming sales-focused webcasts in the Sales Excellence series. I'd now like to turn it over to your presenter. Peng, you now have the floor.
Thank you. And hello, everyone. It's so good to see many of you joining us today and many familiar faces as well. For those who don't know me, my name is Peng Ngensupalak, and I'm part of the U.S. Windows 10 and devices. I also have with me on the call today, Chet Devchan. Chet is our Windows 10 business and technology strategist. And in addition to the two of us, we also have our partner enablement team unit, Walt Perry and Steve Adams, who many of you know, joining us to address any questions that you may have. So let's dive in. The purpose of the call today is to share with you the latest and greatest announcements around Windows 10 Anniversary Update. And Chad will talk a little bit about the partner opportunities, how you all can accelerate Windows 10 businesses with us. So let's jump in. I want to start by, thank you all of you for the great momentum that you have helped drive in the past year. The latest stats that I saw is that we have over 350 million devices running Windows 10 now. And if you think about the day we launched it exactly a year ago, we are really adding about 1 million devices a day, which is the fastest that we have seen in any OS adoption. Almost 100% of our enterprise customers are now doing pilot with us. According to Gartner, about 50% of the customers plan to deploy Windows 10 in 2017. So kudos to you all for helping us brief Windows 10 to the customers, help them with the POC and pilots. And we really look forward for the exciting opportunities that is coming in FY17.
Hey, Peng, this is Chet. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just want to make sure that you're presenting. If you can take over as presenter at the top. There we go.
Oh, thank you.
No problem.
Better with the visual to go with the audio, huh? It shows on my end as the deck is loading, so will you please let me know, Robin, if it shows up on the console?
Looks great, Peng.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Are you seeing the DoD slides?
Yes. Yes, we are.
All right. Somehow it's delayed on my end and is not progressing. All right. So I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about the key wins that many of you have helped us. The notable wins, as you have heard, is with the Department of Defense. I'm sure that you have read in the news the plan to migrate over 4 million seats to Windows 10. I just wanted to kind of share the backstory. Some of you who have helped us win this deal know that it's a hard-fought battle, and it took a really long time to yield fruits. Right? It's a multi-year effort, and in the past 3 years, our team, our engineering team, and the account team have worked closely with the DoD. And through the process, we have also learned a lot, and these learnings have helped us improve on the security offerings on the Windows 10. We have joined up to address the security breaches the DoD is facing, the challenges around software management, identity theft, and pass-the-hash attacks, and we finally, were able to demonstrate how Windows 10 can help solve these challenges and also help the DoD to reduce IT costs and simplify their operating environment. The DoD is also benefiting from the telemetry data that will help them enhance their security. Also, we work with the Air Force and having the Air Force on our early adoption program ultimately really helped the DoD leadership and inform them of the capability that they can scale across all of the DoD branches. We have a lot more to go. Is a huge target that we jointly set together, and we need more help than ever to bring that to the next milestone of migrating these many million seats in such a short period of time. Another customer example is Accenture, and this is the first time that their leadership is so excited about NOS migration that they take it to social medias and share it with the public. Accenture is moving very, very quickly to deploy Windows 10, and as of today, they have deployed over 40,000 seats. This has been, I guess, less than 2 months from when this tweet went out, and they were at about 12K. Accenture was looking to, basically establish themselves as the leader in technology, and they see this as a credential for their consulting business. And in addition to all the benefits that they are looking in Windows 10, they were able to start, seeing the cost saving, and also they on Windows 10 can now bring in a Windows Pro machine and bring it into compliance with the enterprise policy and SKU upgrade to Windows 10 more quickly. Accenture also want to avoid deployment projects, right, and saw Windows as a service as a way to reach that goal. They are on their way to adopting the servicing model on Windows 10, the current brands for business, and also embracing security features. So, I would encourage you to look internally and see where you are in terms of Windows 10 internal deployments, because it's really, the best credential as you engage with your customers to say that you have the experiences deploying Windows 10 at a large scale internally. You also have the internal use right that allows you to get Windows 10 Enterprise licensing for free for internal deployment. So take advantage of that. I would also like to share with you the FY17 Windows 10 core priorities. I've met with a number of you at WPC where we talked about this, and we have also shared this with your leadership team at the start of the fiscal year. So I apologize for the eye chart here. This is the priorities and actions that we are sharing with all our partners for FY17, and it includes everything from the more personal computing ambition to the cloud and productivity. Everything is here. So I'm just going to do a click down to Windows 10 and devices. Our 3 big rocks for FY17 is going to be first to drive Windows 10 full-scale deployment. And we can achieve this by, encouraging customers to work with us and develop the deployment plans. We have POC and pilot funding and programs to help them get there. And for you all, we have updated Windows 10 and devices competency with the latest content and informations and assessments, and you can be sure to get your task force ready to help customers move to Windows 10. So if you haven't checked out the new Windows and devices competency, please take a look now. We will also have a number of trainings that will be available and will help you pass the assessment and gain the competency. In addition to the full-scale deployment, our primary objective is to continue to accelerate the Windows devices adoption, whether it's Surface or OEMs. We have campaigns, fundings, and resources to also help you drive the device motion. And thirdly, to drive Windows 10 revenue, we are announcing the availability of the new SKU, Windows Enterprise E5, which is an upsell from E3 with an added Windows Defender ATP, which is the enhanced service around security. I'll talk more about this in a few minutes. So, and as we know that security is a big concern for our customers, it is really, helping to open the door to the Windows 10 discussions. If you lead with security, we have briefing documents, and we will also have the security assessment toolkits that we'll make available later in the fall as part of the Windows Accelerate program. So please check back onto the Connect site for that. And to help us achieve these 3 ambitious goals, we have offers and partners incentives available, and they're all listed here. Many of you might be familiar with them, but if not, feel free to reach out to us, and we'll be happy to provide you with more information. Now, just wanted to talk a little bit about the Windows 10 anniversary update and the value we are selling to our customers. I hope you are all familiar with the 4 pillars of Windows 10. Nothing has changed, right? We lead with security. We also talk about the productivity, how the end users can achieve more with the great features, functionalities that we are adding to Windows 10. So the plan is that we continue to enrich and build upon these 4 pillars of Windows 10. We have added a number of key features with the anniversary update. For example, the Windows Information Protection, formerly known as the Enterprise Data Protection, is finally available for our customers. We also made the Windows Defender Advanced Threat Protection available as well as an add-on service. And Windows Hello is now integrated in many of the universal app like iHeartRadio or Dropbox, and this is a way for our users to be able to sign into those applications more easily with Windows Hello. In terms of productivity, many of you might have seen a really cool demo around Windows Ink and its integration with many of the applications. Microsoft Edge is a great example. You can now annotate on a web page, be able to save changes and share those with your colleagues and team members. So there are a lot of new features that we are building into the anniversary update to help the end user be more productive. Cortana for Business, I really like this one as well. We have Cortana at Work that is available now. It's integrated into Azure AD. It can notify you, for example, about opportunities in CRM or help you visualize data in Power BI. So you see more and more of this development around voice and Cortana into more of the business application. And when we talk about this at WPC, many key app dev partners really had great idea of how they can further bring this to the line of business application that they are building for their customers. So exciting things are going on here. And lastly, devices are more powerful with stronger, better OS, right? And a key example is how a battery life can be improved with the more efficiently run operating system. And we hope that with the improvement that we are making on the anniversary update, the user will see that their battery life is lasting longer and their machines can be more reliable. So we're hoping to build on each of these 4 pillars as we release more features on the Windows 10 platform. Now I'm going to dive into more of the security pillar, as we know that is the most compelling reason for customers to move to Windows 10. Here you will see the comparisons of the security offering from 7 to 10. And now with anniversary update, the things that we have promised our customers and delivered in this round of release. From the identity protections, as you know, that multi-factor authentication used to be cumbersome and costly. On Windows 10, we bake this into the OS itself and make it easier and cheaper for the customer to deploy. In terms of data protection, we used to have a BitLocker, and we continue to improve on it since Vista. On Windows 7, there's still a gap in terms of data loss prevention. If an intruder can get passed through the password or the first layer of authentication into your machine, they'll be able to get access to most of your data and do further damage. So with Windows 10, we have improved upon that and built in the data protection into the file level or at the app level itself. So you will see that you can really encrypt the data and have that level of protection follow the data wherever it goes, as your users do take the data from a machine into the cloud or on a drive. You'll be able to more securely protect that data as it travels from one machine to the next. We talked, a lot about security here, and this slide is showing you the features that we are building into Windows 10 to help achieve the goal of better protecting devices, identities, informations and securing the customer system overall. We have also extending the protection to the post-breach stage with Windows Defender ATP. And for those of you who might not, have looked into ATP and familiar yourself with the this service, is basically an add-on service that we are offering to our customers. And there are 4 key areas that ATP is offering. One, it is a service that is built into Windows 10. So what this means is that it's very easy to manage and switch on via configuration. There's no additional deployments and infrastructure needs, and it will allow the customer to enhance their threat protections at a lower cost. Customers can just add this service to their EA, or if they are looking into ECS, or the Secure Productive Enterprise SKU, which is a new name of ECS, they can easily add on ATP and upgrade from the E3 SKU to E5. In terms of how it works, right? Think about the millions of data and endpoints data that the system is collecting overall. The ATP is looking at the users' behaviors and process those information, and will be able to identify threats before the customer's IT departments might be able to. And as you know, on average, it took our customers over 200 days to be able to even know that their system has been compromised. So under this service, we have our security specialists here at Microsoft across the world that is helping to monitor these behaviors and be able to analyze the data in real time. We also use both first and third party intelligence to help us act faster and inform our customers. I have visited the Microsoft Cybersecurity Center just last month here, and I was blown away. And I encourage you to take your customers there. We can do a briefing, a security briefing with you and your customers, and show them the capabilities on Windows 10. I would also like to share with you, a few key objections that we have heard from customers, right? Like once we get through the security conversation, there are sometimes doubts or concerns that our customers usually have, and these are kind of a top concerns that we have heard here. One is around app compat. The time it'll take, the need to retrain staff, and the associated cost that comes with OS migration. We have prepared the responses here for your information, and we do have backup information resources that you can cite as you address some of these customers' concerns. So in the interest of time, I'm going to pass this pretty quickly. We'll make this slide available for you to look at afterwards, and I'll move on to the last piece of my presentation, which is the programs and the offers that you all can leverage. First, you have heard of the Windows Accelerate program, and many of you have been taking advantage of the offers, and which is great. We continue to provide funding for Windows 10 POC and pilot, And if your customers is evaluating EMS, we have separate funding for that as well under the Windows 10 Mobility PLC. If your customers is looking to better understand IE 11 migration and wanted to get started on the POC, we have the funding for that as well. And coming soon are the Windows 10 Enterprise Compatibility and Security briefings. So you'll find technical guidance and all of the content on the Microsoft Connect, and I also include the link here as well. There are also more programs you can leverage in partnership with the Microsoft sellers. So we have the device loaners and seeding programs, and we are also working closely with the Microsoft Technology Center, or MTC, to enable partners to do product briefing, security briefing, deployment workshops, and many other activities there. So make sure that you take advantage with all of all these resources and work with your Microsoft counterpart to learn more. I'm going to take a quick look at the questions here before I pass the floor to Chet. So one of the questions here is Windows Defender ATP the same as Exchange ATP? Great question. So ATP is a foundation service that goes on Windows, Exchange, Azure, and the intent is that for our customers to be able to get the same level of protections on all the products that they choose, and with all these products and services coming together seamlessly, that's the best way to prevent any gap in security protections. And I can share with you more details in the follow-up how all these are coming together. This is why in the Secure Productive Enterprise E5 SKU, you will see that ATP is the offer that is common across the 3 products in that bundle, namely Windows 10, Office, and Azure. So with that, I'm going to pass the mic to Chet, and then I'll go through the additional questions that you have here on the Masters Windows. So keep them coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Peng. I've just started to transition, so let me know if you guys can start to see my screen. Robin, can you confirm? Okay, perfect. So again, I would like to echo Peng's excitement from earlier in the call. Thank you guys for joining. We're excited to have you. As Peng mentioned, my name is Chet Devchand, and I'm a technology solutions professional that's focused on supporting our partners in the Windows 10 ecosystem on developing your practice and driving profitability for your Windows 10 practice specifically. And so what I want to talk to you all about today is really focused on what the partner opportunity is for you to drive Windows 10 deployments for both professional and enterprise within your customer environments. And before we dive in, one thing I want to also emphasize, there were a lot of great questions coming in. Feel free to keep those coming, and we have the folks on the side that are still going to answer those. And so before diving in on the specifics of what it is we can do from driving partner profitability, what Microsoft is going to provide for you as a resource, I want to level set with all of you, just making sure that we all understand what the market opportunity looks like. We all understand what our customers are going through on an everyday basis. And so I know many of you deliver this pitch every day, so bear with me, but it's important for us to all start at the same page. I think we all know that the pace of change that we're all going through within our industry from a technology perspective is just astronomically high today. And a lot of this is evident just in the fact that 52% of Fortune 500 companies from the year 2000 are no longer in existence. They've completely disappeared, they've vanished, they've been acquired, or they're just out of business. And so the opportunity now for us to help our customers, the existing customers that remain within the industry and the new up-and-coming industries, is to help them fend off the competition by providing them a playbook for digital transformation. And what this means is that digital transformation is an organizational restructure for our customers in how they go to market and how they structure their business models. And Windows 10 is a key part of how customers can transform. It helps drive that last mile of customer interaction so that our customers can create experiences for their customers through digital technologies. And so Windows 10 can absolutely play a big role. But the big thing I want you all to take away as part of this conversation is that it's not just about Windows 10, and Windows 10 plays such a critical role because it is the last mile, but it's about the opportunity to start having a conversation with your C-level suite and change your business and how you're going to market for the service offerings that you're driving. So something to keep in mind of how we can possibly start to sell Windows beyond just conversations we're having around security, which is still very important, and I'll allude to that shortly. Now, when we look at what our CIOs are focused on and what the key priorities are for them, there was a Deloitte survey that came out a couple of years ago, and it's still very much relevant in terms of the numbers that we're going to present, where CIOs are saying that 71% of their focus is to provide and support for the business needs, looking at the chief marketing officer, the chief digital officer, the chief financial officer, and anyone else within the C-suite. Yet, if we, sorry, I'm just going to maneuver through the clicking here. Yet if we look at the actual allotment of where our customers' budgets are from a CIO perspective, 55% of their budgets are still allocated to business as usual and keeping the lights on. And so what this presents is a major opportunity for you in terms of how you're selling to your customers to not only present the extensive features and value that we provide for what our product is in Windows 10 that Peng alluded to earlier with Windows Defender Advanced Threat Protection and all the security functions with Device Guard, Credential Guard, et cetera. But this value proposition then extends again from the digital transformation perspective into the business level conversation. And so we as a Microsoft ecosystem have to take it upon ourselves to extend ourselves beyond the technical technology conversation and into the business conversation. And we have the opportunity to do that with what Windows 10 can provide. Now, in terms of taking advantage of this momentum, everything that Peng alluded to as well, you've got Accenture deploying thousands of devices within their environment, the DoD, even the industry and security experts themselves are taking notice for what the capabilities are with Windows 10. And so this is an article that was just posted a couple of days ago, and it's from hackers that attend the Black Hat conference, security conference, and so they were pretty impressed with the capabilities of what it now takes to actually penetrate the Windows operating system. So taking advantage of this kind of material is critical to how we're starting to have conversations with our customers, and truthfully how you're going to start to deliver the services that you want to provide to drive to profitability. And so with all of that said, what I want to dive into now is just providing you guys in just conversations that we've been having with partners across the country that have Windows 10 practices today. And I know many of you on the call do have Windows 10 practices, and so your goals are, how do I enhance what I have today? How do I change what my offering is? And some of you may just be starting, and so all of this is applicable. What I'm not going to dive into is there are a bunch of table stakes conversations that exist when you're developing a practice, such as ensuring you have the right sales capacity to go to market and align with the Microsoft field, ensuring that you've got enough of maturity within your practice for delivery services so that when you're able to deliver a service to one customer, it's able to be repeatable across multiple customers, and you have enough of a mature process embedded in your delivery so that you can avoid issues like scope creep. So all of that is taken as table stakes, and so where we're going to start the conversation really is at the end of what you want to start to deliver for your business. What is going to be your service offering as you start to go to market? This is a great way to determine, number one, if you want to invest in Windows 10, and number two, how you want to change what your offering is going to be if you have one today. And so we say we want you to have holistic solution offerings that drive lead generation and can be delivered with a differentiated value proposition. And what this means is that taking a look at your core business, taking a look at what drives revenue for your organization, Windows 10 is meant as a tool. It's meant as a service offering that provides incremental revenue to drive other services. It's meant to allow cross-sell and upsell opportunities. And so with your differentiated value proposition, if you're a custom application developer, Oh, I see we have an issue on the slide. Okay, so everyone else can see. Okay, with the conversation of having that differentiated value proposition, if you're a custom application developer, the other capability that you can also bring to the table is just determining what your niche is, whether you have a vertical offering, whether your offering depends on your go-to-market, such as I've seen some partners that have determined, you know what, I'm going to do a Windows 10 deployment to CPM customers for free, but my goal in giving them this free deployment is they have to sign up for a 2 years managed services contract. And so in that way, they're going to be first to market in terms of how customers are going to be interested in wanting to listen to what they have to say. So your differentiated value proposition can vary, but it's something to definitely take into account to determine how you can separate yourself from the competition. As well, when you do go to market, you've determined how you want to differentiate your business. How you want to also align to the Microsoft sales and account teams and our processes is critical, because a lot of the pipeline opportunities that are coming, number one, exist with customers that have existing licenses. As Pang mentioned, we've got we've got our Enterprise Cloud Suite license, which is going to be deprecated in just a few more weeks, and in its place will become the Secure Productive Enterprise, SPE. And so although they're basically the same in many regards, there are some slight differences in just the differentiation between E3 and E5. But aligning with Microsoft sales teams is critical just because of getting closer to certain customers that you may not otherwise have the opportunity to get involved in. And so from a processes perspective, ensuring that you are entering information into Partner Sales Connect so that Microsoft views what you're doing from a pre-sales perspective as valuable. We see that you're embedded in the pre-sales process so that we can further engage you in other opportunities, as well as the fact that as a managed partner, you get access to becoming a P-seller. And this P-seller program allows you as a partner seller to go out and sell on behalf of Microsoft, either from a direct selling perspective or a technical perspective as a pre-sales architect, if you will. And you would get if you are onboarded into the P-seller program, you can get onboarded through a PSC that's managing you in the field, or someone like myself, a TSP on the enablement team unit, which I'll describe that team shortly and its function. As part of this P-seller program, you get a badge to get access to Microsoft offices. You can meet with account teams in the Microsoft buildings while having access to the buildings, as well as then, and this is a very critical advantage, is just getting access to a lot of the content that we have internally, getting access to our intranet site, getting access to the pre-sales material that we leverage when we're going out to give a presentation to our customers, getting access to distribution groups if you need to reach out to someone in the business group, getting an @Microsoft email address. And so a lot of this is something to take into account. Now, in terms of then accomplishing these first two steps, you're also then going to want to make sure that your pre-sales team is fully aware of what the value proposition is going to be for Windows 10. I mentioned, the big value of what Windows 10 is it's a great entry point because of all the momentum we're collecting with Windows 10, because of all the notable media coverage we're getting to start a conversation with your customers. But it's a solution set that's meant to be sold with other services that you have, and so making sure your sellers and your team know how to deliver that message. And we've got some tools that we're going to describe shortly on how this can be supported. Let's close something. And then now when we look at the operations of how you're going to start a Windows 10 practice, a lot of what we're seeing, and there's another practice I should include on bullet number 4, a lot of what we're seeing with our existing partners is, to start a Windows 10 practice just by itself, out on its lonesome. I've seen a few partners do that, and they're successful because they've got the relationships with customers in their territory to execute on it. But also a vast majority of the customers or partners that we're having conversations with are embedding Windows 10 into existing practices like data center, like identity and mobility. And the third one, which identity is probably more often than not a part of, is security. If you've actually got other vendor relationships with Symantec or McAfee or even FireEye, whoever it may be, but we're starting to see this cross-pollination of other vendors that are interested in starting to deploy just because of what the value is to their existing practice. And so this allows for an easier entry into the market, just because there's less friction to DVP is differentiated value proposition. There's less friction in now having to ramp up a new person to learn what the technology is. And then lastly, it's of course just attaining your partner, your Windows and devices silver or gold competency. And this competency is critical, obviously. As Peng referenced, you're going to want to get access to Accelerate funding, which is huge for engaging your customers from pre-sales at no charge to them, getting access to desktop deployment, planning services days, DDPS days, as many of you are familiar with, so that you can engage at the pre-sales even before you get to the sales stage of providing or leveraging Accelerate funding. The minimum requirement for attaining the Windows and Devices Silver or Gold competency, for Silver you need to have 2 architects passing an assessment that's online, and I'll show you where the link is for that, as well as getting 3 customer references. And for Gold, it's 4 people passing the assessment and 5 customer references. Now, for the partners that have been successful in deploying Windows 10, a lot of how they're approaching this, again, is it's a great conversation starter for customers. And so for the proof of concepts in the pilot phase, you can see that there is a smaller margin than most opportunities. You get 20 to 30% versus what your general project services are going to deliver to your environment. But another aspect and low-hanging fruit where you can see some huge profit opportunities exist with just device refresh. We had a lot of customers that were up for refresh during the Windows XP end of support days in 2013, 2014, and so those customers now coming up on the device refresh, you know that our device SSPs, our device sales solutions professionals at Microsoft, are going to be knocking on those doors, and they're going to need your assistance to not just sell the value on the device, but really on Windows 10. So getting tight with our device SSPs would be critical so that you can get the opportunities to start to engage at a pilot phase, but then even further just doing actual project delivery services if a device refresh is found not to be necessary. The most bang for your buck, if you're looking at a general project delivery environment, is that we talked about the incremental services revenue that Windows itself can provide, because if you look at this column here, the second one from the right, you're looking at the upsell of Office 365 and EMS into your customers and broaching those conversations. Windows itself is a cloud-enabled OS, and it should be involved in every conversation, which is why as partners are developing their practices, they're doing so to include in their data center and security practice. And so one other aspect that Windows 10 is providing from a deployment perspective for partners is now a new avenue to start to venture out into managed services. A lot of our customers are viewing managing Windows 10 as an opportunity to now focus on other tasks internally in their organization. And so even though this is within more the mid-market space, they're starting to push off managed services into our partner organizations that have more developed service offerings that include, even if it's just you getting engaged at the pre-sale stage, proof of concept stage, to show the customer how they need to create a gold image, how they need to package it, how they need to test the applications. They'll then follow up with providing through retainer hours through you to ask any other complications that may occur during the actual deployment, or ask to get support from you in terms of tier 2 customer support, getting more access to creating gold images on a regular basis, because for them they feel they need to focus their responsibilities elsewhere. And so managed services is definitely a great opportunity if you're looking at Windows 10. It's something you need to think about from the start in terms of how you're going to start your practice. And then the last piece is on this last column is just the delivery of intellectual property that your organization has around Windows 10. How is it, when we talk about DVP, differentiated value proposition for your organization, how is it you're now going to market and selling your solution? Windows 10 could be just a pull-through for this higher margin services that you can provide, because it's something that you've built in-house and something that's very repeatable for you. And then here I have a slide that just references more specifically, just depending on how your business is structured today, whether you're a systems integrator, whether you provide security services, you have outsourced IT managed services, you're an ISV, and just where it is the different monetization opportunities exist for your organization. And so I would take a look at this. We'll use this as a reference slide. But what I want to dive into now is what we're doing at Microsoft to invest with you. And so the key that what we're focusing on is we've now structured this into 4 pillars. We've got our enablement team unit, which is the team I'm involved in. We've got various sales resources we're providing. We've got technical enable, and then we've got product licensing integration. From an enablement team unit perspective, we focus on building partner capacity so that we're all about ensuring that within your partner environment, you have the structure necessary to succeed when you start to co-sell with Microsoft. We help you with those first few deals to go out and support deployments, help you land those first pipeline opportunities, as well as start to onboard your P sellers so that they can get comfortable with what it means to be PSSP, PTSP within the Microsoft ecosystem. From there, we've also got sales resources so those P sellers can be comfortable with the messaging, as well as having the necessary training material available for your technical team so that they're not only comfortable with passing the competency, but then diving in a little bit deeper for your consultants on deployment services. And then from there, how we go to market with our product licensing integration really aligns to how you're starting to develop your practice. So looking at the sales resources, one of the big values of being involved in just the P-Seller program is access to certain internal training, but we've also got external training. One of them is called Pitch Perfect, and it's a role play for Windows 10, so you can see what an everyday conversation looks like. It's great for your sellers to leverage. It's located at Partner University, so you'll have access to this slide, and you'll have to do a search for MPN 14159, and that'll get you access to the training, as well as a bunch of videos from a Worldwide Partner Conference that dive into the value proposition of Windows 10, dives into what it is you're going to need to do when you're considering, when you're talking about anniversary updates for Windows 10 and what those features look like, and actually showing demonstrations so you get an understanding of what it means to be secure, what it looks like to have to ensure application compatibility with respect to Windows as a service, and then of course how we're driving digital transformation with specific use cases in manufacturing and fast food in various other industries to help businesses leverage the Windows platform to engage with customers and employees. And then we've also got a a Forrester Total Economic Impact Finding report, which is great when you're starting at the 20% sales stage of positioning the value of why it's important to deploy Windows 10. This has a lot of great statistics in terms of the ROI, the X number of months that you should expect to see a payback as a customer, how much easier it's going to be in terms of desktop management services. And although this is going to be very much generalized to the broad population, we are going to also make this, we also have a calculator so that you can go out and provide these numbers specific to your customer's environment based on inputs that you provide. I don't have the calculator here today because it's still in development, but it should be released very soon. We've all seen the piloted version of it, so we'll definitely be sure to follow up with that calculator. I know we're running short on time, so I'm going to move forward now and discuss the technical enablement material. And so as we look at this, we can break this down really into 2 subsets. There's technical enablement provided through the Windows and Devices competency, how your team can get started out with learning how to pass the assessment that's required. Again, if you're going for silver, it's 2 people, and for gold, it's 4 people that have to pass the assessment. And so starting with Partner University, this is an on-demand service that your team can get access to. You have to go again to Partner University and do a search for MPN 16022, but from there you're getting level 200, 300 material that will then lead you right into taking the assessment so that you can at least clear half of the requirements for becoming a Windows and Devices competent partner. We also plan on delivering as the TSP team. It's myself and 2 other TSPs on my team that will be delivering this content hopefully in October. That's level 200, 300, focused on how your architects can crack the nut for passing this competency. So that material is coming soon. The Partner University is there today, but the Competency Bootcamp is almost there. It's 2/3 of the way completed, and we'll be sure to notify you when we complete it. Last couple things are just in terms of deployment and getting involved in in-depth training on the deployment of Windows 10 for enterprise and professional. We have level 300, 400 deployment training on the management, security, and just deployment in general. And we're offering this class in person across these dates in these cities. And so you can follow up with myself if you're interested. But again, a lot of this is is still being played out, especially as we look at our deployment masters training, which is online but level 400, knee deep at the consultant level of how you want to run into certain issues, support issues that could possibly come up during deployment. And then, of course, one-on-one deployment shadowing. As you have completed your competency, you want to start to engage with customers, we've got a technical remote team that can support you through that process through your partner advisory hours. And then the last thing, Pang referenced this earlier, and I just want to emphasize it. The Enterprise Cloud Suite is a bundling of products that we have at Microsoft. It's Office 365. It's the Enterprise Mobility and Security Suite, which I want to emphasize as well is formerly known as the Enterprise Mobility Suite. So it's just gone through a name change, but it's still called EMS and Windows 10 Enterprise. This was formerly under the bundled product license of ECS, and now what we're calling it is Secure Productive Enterprise. And the reason we're doing that is because we're now going to have multiple flavors, as Pang mentioned. There's a big difference between. Sorry, let me know if this sounds a little bit more clear. I'll wait till I get a response if you guys can sound. Okay, sorry, not sure what happened. Okay, so the E3 licensing is following the Secure Productive Enterprise now follows the model of E3 and E5. So again, deprecated ECS. So the Enterprise Cloud Suite will be deprecated in just another month or so, and Secure Productive Enterprise is what our customers will have. What this means for you is that our customers are going to have already Windows Enterprise E3, more than likely, or E5 in their environments. It's an opportunity for you to go in, not only to assist account teams from selling, but more than likely you're going to have a ton of pipeline opportunities with customers that own Windows today, and it's your job to convince them to deploy. So that would be the low-hanging fruit opportunity for you, and that's the value of how we're bundling these licenses, and that's the key takeaway. Lastly, just to close it out before I pass it over to Robin, attain the competency, engage in the online technical training that we're going to be delivering, take advantage of the external material. You'll get access to this deck that we have with Pitch Perfect and the Worldwide Partner Conferencing slides. It's excellent material on understanding the value proposition, and ensure that once you do become confident, take advantage of Windows Accelerate and DDPS days. It's absolutely great. It's a great program. And from there, you're going to also want to ensure that as you're creating your service opportunities, you're driving upsells for your mobility service offering as well as anything you're offering from a security perspective. So with that, I'll pass it over to Robin, and she'll close it out.
Thank you, Chet. We'd like to thank you for attending today's presentation. Within 72 hours, it will be available to watch at aka.ms/salesexcellence-on-demand. To access upcoming webcasts in the Sales Excellence series, please visit aka.ms/salesexcellence. Be sure to stay informed about Microsoft Partner new information, recommendations, opportunities, and programs that are relevant to your business. Go to aka.ms/USP Stay Informed to choose your favorite ways or way to get this information, the information you need. Also, I'd like to draw your attention to the survey URL at the left of your screen. It's very important for us to get feedback, and especially we're looking for suggestions for the next Windows 10 webcast. So if you could please click that link, enter your email address, and select the appropriate response. We'd really appreciate it. And finally, mark your calendars for WPC 2017 in Washington, D.C., July 9 through 13, 2017. For more details, please visit aka.ms/WPC 2017 US. Again, I'd like to thank you for attending today's webcast, and a big thank you to today's presenters, Pang and Chet. You may now disconnect.
Thank you, everyone.